welcome to another Tarot Tuesday. My favorite day of the week. Although, you know, I do like all the days that I do other drawing streams too. Which I did an impromptu one on Sunday night. It went so good. I was like, I don't know if anyone's going to show up because this wasn't scheduled. I just feel like drawing something right now. And, you know, if people want to watch while I do it, that's fine. And it ended up being like one of my best streams ever. So that was good. Also, I'm gonna let the tinsel wall flow for right now. I might have to put it back up if the cats try to eat it, which they probably will. They love eating tinsel. I don't know. I think my cats just enjoy barfing. I think they enjoy barfing because they purposely do things that are gonna make them barf. They're like, oh, this dead leaf that you tracked in from outside, I'm gonna eat that, and then I'm gonna barf. Oh, this tinsel, this big long string that I'm gonna swallow, but it's still gonna be connected to a big long wad of tinsel outside my stomach, I'm gonna eat it, and then I'm gonna barf. Oh, a different cat's barf? I'm gonna eat it, and then I'm gonna barf. Like, it's just their favorite activity, I guess. I don't really fully understand why, but you know, I love those babies anyways. Whew. I'm just gonna, again, just shaking out my wrist rather than stretching it. Because you do want to start exercising a little bit and then do some stretches, warm up, and then stretch. Stretching is not the warm up. Stretching cold muscles isn't going to give you a lot of benefit. But it's good to get a little bit of extra blood in the fingertips. That's always a good thing. Plus, you know, it's always fun to shake the hay babies. This part of the arm, this jiggly bit is called a hay baby, I learned. Because when you're just like, hey baby, and then it wiggles down there. So I love my hay babies because that means just my tattoos get bigger and there's more room for more tattoos. So hell yeah. Hell yeah. I can't wait to get more tattoos. Like, I really want to get hand tattoos finally. And I want to try and get them before I go back to work. Because it's just so much, like, constantly submerging my hands in water. And I don't want to do that with fresh tattoos. But I finally got an appointment for a COVID vaccine, which is such a relief because my asthma has just been terrible lately. And if I sound a little bit wheezy today, that is why. It's, you know, a struggle to breathe sometimes. But I am still alive, still kicking it, and, yeah, really excited to get this vaccine. I'm getting it on Saturday, so it's only, 4 days away. I have to count. My brain is just so fried after a whole year of being indoors. I cannot wait to be able to be outdoors a little bit more. And hello, Adane. Welcome to Tarot Tuesday. Yeah, I can't wait to get outside. I mean, I can go outside, like, in my backyard and stuff. I can't wait to get out into the world, the larger world, hug some friends I haven't seen in a while, feel less afraid that I'm going to get COVID and my asthma is going to put me in the hospital. That's been, like, the big worry, is I haven't really been worried that, like, I would die from COVID, but dying is not the only adverse effect that you can get from it. I know a couple of people who got long COVID and it was bad. It's really bad. We still don't know about the long-term effects of it. And that's what I've been really terrified of getting. And also, like, you know, the possibility of needing to be ventilated in the hospital is just terrifying. Because I just think, like, you can't really do anything in those times. And it would be so boring. And I just hate being bored. Is it wild that, like, my biggest fear is just that I would be way too bored in the hospital? But yeah. Yeah, asthma is and every time I've had an asthma attack, I hesitate to call them attacks because it's not like well, it's not it sometimes is, but it's very rarely like a sudden like, oh no, my throat's closing up and I can't breathe, I'm having an attack. It's like a gradual just like throughout the day it feels like my lungs absorb less and less oxygen and things just get tight without feeling like they're shut. And like every time that happens, I'm just like, oh, nope, I got it. COVID caught up to me. I finally caught it. Also, if I do catch COVID like in the next 5 weeks, um, between like getting my first shot and getting the second shot and having it go into full effect, if I get COVID in that time, like before I'm protected, I'm just gonna be so pissed off of just like, you made it over a year without getting COVID, and then just right at the finish line, you just trip and fall on your face. But yeah, I'm being extra careful right now. I am, because knock on wood, I don't want to get COVID. It would be, it's like the cop who's like, you know, a week away from retirement, this is his last case, and then he ends up, you know, getting shot in the line of duty in an action movie. We don't care about the IRL cops, because, you know, these streams always end up very anti-capitalist and ACAB, because that's just, you know, that's part of the brand at this point. Yeah. But anyways, let's get into drawing. I'm doing a couple more cards today. Eventually I'm going to get back into the major arcana, but I just keep getting ideas for the minor arcana that I want to go with, so I'm going to go with them. So, I'm going to start with the Six of Wands, because the idea I have is fairly simple. Tiger Tarkla 45, thank you for the follow. Very much appreciate it. In 15-20 minutes or so, you will be able to join the chat. Just because, my Six of Wands are doing not cups. I'm just looking up the previous image to show y'all, and I am not really doing anything close to the traditional imagery of this one this time. I am going for something completely different, but let's just look at the previous one. We've got a guy riding a horse. He's carrying a wand. There's a bunch of other people also holding wands behind him. This is about success and like being accepted and oh, sorry. I am a little wheezy today. Maybe it's just psychosomatic where I'm like, okay, it's almost over, and my body is just like, we're still gonna make you worry that much longer. Hold on. What'd you say? Stop yelling? Alex said to stop yelling. I just have a loud voice. This is not yelling. This is not yelling for me. But so yeah, Six of Wands is about success, public recognition, you know, having your work paid off. So what I see for this is a sort of like Sally Field, like, you like me, you really like me moment, as she's like holding one wand and being offered like 5 more, of just like the wand in this case being an award, which I also learned that like Sally Field didn't even say you like me, you really like me. It was something more of just like, well, I guess I have to accept that you guys like me, or just something a lot less big sounding, I guess. A lot less dramatic sounding. It was a lot more graceful than she is quoted as sounding. But yeah, I like the idea of someone accepting an award and being offered 5 more, and those wands are going to be the awards in this case. So yeah. I also just I'm sort of not really drawing the suits in their like traditional ways. I've been looking at like what other symbols can I use to represent, you know, wands, swords, cups, pentacles. So yeah, with the wands, a lot of them are going to be, yeah, like this is an award. I've got some plans for wands where they're going to be candles because it's also a fire sign. So I think a candle would represent it really well. And like all of my cups are like they're not chalices. They're teacups. Probably do some like martini glasses. I had solo cups last week. I just want to mix it up a little bit. So I gotta decide how, because it has to read as a wand, but I also want it to look like an award. How's everyone doing today? I hope we're all doing good. I don't know, I've been hearing from a lot of people that there's sort of people feeling a little low these days. Maybe we're all just finally letting ourselves be exhausted from COVID now that there is sort of an end to it almost here. Where it's just like, okay, I don't have to be endlessly strong anymore. I guess this kind of looks like a golden globe. Sorry, I'm getting text messages that I think are trying to make it onto the screen. So yeah, I want it to still look kind of wand-like. I think it's gonna read as a wand. Yeah, let's make it a little smaller though, because we're gonna need to have room for 5 other hands coming from the sides, handing off even more awards. Your family is finding baby pictures of your brother to lovingly shame him with. It's a birthday tradition. That is a great birthday tradition. I love that. That's such a great birthday tradition. I want to do that now. My mom is like an avid scrapbooker. She took so many photos when I was growing up. And oh, Alex is shutting the door because I'm being too loud. I'm being too loud, and he's got work meetings that I'm screaming through, I guess. But yeah, my mom has scrapbooked everything for the past 30 years. And this face is not looking how I want it to be. Let's give her, like, I don't know, more of an Angelina Jolie kind of look. A little bit more glamorous. Not loving these eyes. It's okay, I'll figure it out. But yeah, I figure this one is going to be pretty simple. I'm not really doing like a big background for this one. It's going to be, hopefully, you can sort of figure out the story without too much background or anything. Yeah, get to draw, you know. Let's give her some gloves. Glamorous gown. I'm just going to do a very simple gown, too. To where she's almost shaped like a statuette herself. Alright, now I gotta repeat this award shape to have a bunch of hands holding out more of these. I'm just going to copy and paste these. We'll give them a little bit of... Well, no, I kind of like them being all upright. Probably. Being more uniform. Oops. Okay. Yeah, just... Okay. Oh, I see what I was doing. Oh, right, it's this one. Just trying to keep them aligned. There, that's... Why'd you snap there? Who knows? Okay, I'm gonna align all three of these. And so yeah, I do want them to be almost like a playing card in this case. And then I have to draw all the hands holding them. Yep, that's how you hold something. I'm glad I have hands that I can reference whenever I want. Just look at my own hands. And from the other side. Actually, I kind of like all the hands from the other side. This is gonna look like a cute one. Alright. And we can have a couple hands from the other side too. Just to have some good variation. Yeah, there we go. I think that's a good sketch. Cute and simple. All right. I'm going to start by drawing this award so I can repeat it a bunch of times. Why is my brush so big? Be a circle. Be a circle. There we go. Okay. Oh, I just realized I'm gonna be fully vaccinated by my birthday. That's gonna be such a good birthday present. To be able to spend the day having a cookout in my backyard, maybe, with a couple of other vaccinated pals. That'll be a great day. Alright. And now to copy it a little bit smaller. Go. Actually, let's do it over here on this side. Make sure they're all aligned. And the middle one goes away. Cool. All right. Oops. Put that line back in. There we go. Okay. I want her to be wearing a little black dress, but with the black background, that's not going to be very good to do. So, I don't know, maybe a bright red or something. Let's finish the inks first before figuring out colors. Yeah, red is classic and glamorous. I think it'll be good. Really pops against black. Lots and lots of pearls, because I love to draw them. Everyone doing all right today? What are you guys working on? What kind of projects you got going on? Hope you're having a chill Tuesday.
And count. Sit. Sit. And count. Sit. Well. Sit well. And count. Well. Sit well. Sit. And count. Sit.
Oh, that's gotta be... Oh, that's gotta be so frustrating when you're doing knitting and stuff and you notice something that went wrong several rows back. Having to undo it all. Like sometimes when I'm sewing, I'll do something wrong and I'll have to rip out a stitch, and that sucks, but I also feel like the machine made the stitch. I didn't make the stitch with my own hands. I feel like it would be so much more heartbreaking if it was like I physically, like, my hands put the stitch in that I have to undo now. I'm so happy that I mostly draw digitally and I can undo things. So at least stuff like this, I don't have too many heartbreaks unless it's like the computer crashes and I didn't realize that I didn't save for the entire project and I have nothing. Speaking of which, let's save. Let's do that every now and then. But yeah, you know, sometimes it's just part of the creative process where we don't notice things until later. Because sometimes you gotta, like, step back and take a look at a bunch of work before you can see any of the... Like right now, maybe I've screwed up a line and I won't notice until I zoom out, you know? I'm gonna put these lips up a little bit higher.
And count the raindrops.
Why symmetrical? I think that's symmetrical. But also, I do kind of want to make her a little bit, like, smizing. I want to give her some more, like, smiley kind of eyes. 'Cause she is, you know, very happy to be recognized. Bunch of hard work and dedication paying off. You're getting recognized now. People like you. They really, really like you. Hi, Alex. How are you doing?
Yeah.
You got a vaccine appointment?
Yep.
Nice. Is it the one that's...
Friday.
Oh, nice. So you taking Friday off?
Yeah.
All right.
Hi, chat. I'm
Yes,
getting a
Alex.
vaccine.
Alex is getting a vaccine. You heard it here first, people.
You're
He's
gonna
getting a vaccine.
pump it in my butt.
They're gonna put it in, yeah, in your butt.
I don't know where they put vaccines.
They can put it in your butt, actually.
What if I just stick my whole ass out of the window? Because it's a drive-through.
Oh, it's a drive-through.
What if I just stick my whole juicy ass out there and I'm just like, all right, I'm ready.
Ah.
And they're like, please put your pants on.
You're so excited to have a butt now. Alex didn't have a butt when I met him.
Hi, Dane. I had 0 butt.
He had 0 butt, and then I started feeding him. And now his whole family loves me.
Because of butt.
Because of the butt.
Chat, my first video went up.
Oh yeah! Alex started doing, he's doing D&D on his channel, Dapper Cadaver. And,
My YouTube, first one went up.
oh yeah, he put it on YouTube. And it's very good. Go drop a link in the comments. Let's see.
No, I don't want to distract
Herpes.
from your stream. Just
All right. Well,
Dapper Cadaver on
go
YouTube.
check out Dapper Cadaver.
On Twitter. You know where to find me. Okay, bye.
I drew her eyes way too low. So, yeah, you know, sometimes art is... You start drawing, and then you step back from it, and you're just like, whoa, what was I thinking? Yeah, we're gonna bring those eyes much higher. I think maybe I brought him up too high now. Let's maybe split the difference. Oh, they're too close together, too. Her nose is so narrow up here. Hold on, I just gotta... Maybe I gave her too much hair and it's gonna block one of her eyes. I'm trying to draw like eye sockets and then... I might have just made her hairline kind of weird. But, okay, we've got eye sockets. And then... Because we want a little bit of, like, surprise in her face. One eye is still wonky. I do not usually have this much trouble drawing a face. You know? have days where it's just not clicking. Oh, thank you, love. That's better. That's a whole lot better. Yeah, her eyes were almost a whole eyeball height down from where they should have been. So that looks a lot better. Let's give her a little movie star mole. But you know, going back to Sally Field, you know, supposedly saying, "You like me, you really like me," and, you know, a little bit being like lampooned for saying that, especially when she didn't even say it. But even if she had, like, honestly, the amount of imposter syndrome that so many artists have, it like the creative fields have, there's so much competition, and so much of your career lies on people liking you as a person. And, you know, if you struggle with feelings of, you know, doubt and not valuing yourself, or just wondering how anyone could like you, then yeah, to sometimes it does take an award or some sort of public recognition to really let it sink in, like, okay, all of those voices in my head that are telling me that I suck are wrong. Like, people actually do like me. People actually like me. And, you know, awards are not the only way to feel that way. But it's definitely one of those things that kind of makes you pause for a minute and be like, okay, here's a piece of evidence that I'm not total shit. It can sometimes just be great for your brain to just be like, hey, guess what? Here's at least a couple people that don't think you're awful. And that can sort of disrupt those feelings. So I think there was just so much earnestness in, you know, Sally Fields proclaiming, you know, that those inner voices were wrong. And it's not like being full of herself. But it's also, it is one of those things where it's like, she didn't even say that. So I'm gonna give her some thicker lashes. I do want her to be kind of like humbled by all of this. I'm gonna make the smile a bit bigger too, though. There we go. That's a good smile. And then all of the hands on the other awards. I actually, a couple years ago, I was in a pretty big funk and was seriously considering quitting comics. Because I was just so burned out. And then I got nominated for an Eisner, and I was like, oh, maybe, okay, maybe I don't totally suck at this. Maybe people are paying attention. Maybe it's not as hard and bad as I thought. And that's another thing about creative jobs, is there's so much capacity for burnout, and sometimes being reminded that, like, okay, people are paying attention, they like it, that all of the effort is worth it, can be really energizing. So yeah, it's good to celebrate your success. When you've worked really hard, you gotta stop and take a moment to be happy about it. Or else you can't keep up the energy that it takes to keep doing it. And as much as we like to think like, I don't care what anyone else thinks, in a creative job, you do kind of have to care what other people think. And it can be a shame because, shy people have things to say too. People without as much self-confidence. And I always wonder what kind of good art we're missing out on by really setting up creative careers as needing, like, a superhuman amount of self-confidence. Or the mental stamina to be constantly self-depreciating. Let's give this one long nails. Oop, that's not an eraser. All right. Just want to add some details into the hands so they don't look too flat. Maybe this one's wearing a ring. Where's the frame hit? Yes, this one can be wearing a bracelet. Yeah. All right, cool. We got ourselves some inks. Save again. Don't want to lose all the progress. All right. Black background. So I am going to have each of these hands just be a different bright color. Let's get some orange. Oops. Thank you, Adane. Teal. I like the teal. Trying to avoid yellow because the award is probably going to end up being yellow. So it looks like gold. Oh, forgot that thumbnail. And then this other thumbnail we'll do in green. Cool. So yeah, I'm gonna make the awards sort of gold and yellow. Cool. Yeah, that ring can stay gold too. So, yep, winning 6 awards all at once. I feel like that's something that only happens with Grammys. Do people ever win like 6 Oscars in one night? I don't know. I don't watch awards shows, actually. Maybe if the hosts didn't always make it so painful. So maybe this lavender color. And then going with red dress. Maybe the gloves are white. Oh, I totally erased part of this that shouldn't have been erased. There we go. There we go. Yeah, production people probably do win a bunch of technical Oscars. But yeah, they never really broadcast that for everyone to watch. Like when I won my Emmy, which is always, it's still strange to say when I won an Emmy. It was a technical Emmy for behind the scenes stuff. And so nobody watched that at all. But I know it happened, and I'm proud of it. But yeah, I don't think like single actors can even be nominated in that many categories, whereas like a singer might. Like for like best singer, best new singer, best album, best single. I don't know what, best music video maybe? I don't know. Again, I don't watch too many awards shows. I don't really know what happens. Alright, we gotta give her hair a color. Maybe that same red color as her dress? Ooh, it's a very like Jessica Rabbit kind of look. And also, maybe a green. I feel like I just don't use green enough in these cards. No, because it makes it so it's hard to see the award. So maybe a dark blue? And then maybe some sort of rays coming up behind her just to make her head sort, maybe like a, maybe almost like a halo, like a sort of glow behind her. Which to go here and like that. Let's see how it fits with the frame. Oh, makes it hard to see the number. So we can go like that. Almost like a spotlight. Like she's in the spotlight. I like that. I am going to color her gloves in now. Oh, I also think I like this dark purple more than the indigo. Yeah, and maybe one of these orange hands. Is this the hands? Yeah. This could be a different color. Pink, maybe? Yeah, I like that pink. The light orange was just bleeding into the yellow a little too much. But yeah, this is very Jessica Rabbit right here. Did Jessica Rabbit ever win any Academy Awards? Because she should have. Oh, that's true. Like, actors might win a lot of awards in a season, but you don't really get actors in 2 Oscar contender movies in the same year. That's true. Movies are a lot of work, whereas you can do several TV shows in a year if you're not like a main character, or even if you are, I guess. Some people just hate sleep, and so they work and work and work and work forever. Maybe more of a teal for this eyeshadow. Yeah, we like the teal. But yeah, I think this is a good 6 of wands right here. She's in the spotlight. She's won 6 awards. They like her. They really, really like her. Let's add a little bit of detail to the hair. Just to give it some depth. Oops. She does win! She is a winner. She worked hard and she won. And we're so proud of her. We like her. We really, really like her. She was our favorite. She was our pick to win, and she won. There we go. A little bit of detail in the hair, just to make it pop a little bit more. Oh, I was gonna have this like as little chain straps. Should I put some details in the dress, maybe? I could do that. I also kind of like the idea of keeping it fairly simple, though. Maybe just, like, a little bit of detail work up here. I think that looks good. Let's give a little bit of shape to the dress to show off those boobies. But yeah. There we go. She's a winner! She's a winner! We love her! We like her! We really, really like her! 6 of Wands, everybody! The winner of 6 Wands. It's this gal. I don't know what her name is. Wanda. Wanda! Yes, she is number 1. She is number 1. Spam 6 egg champs in chat for this champion. Who has surely earned 6 egg champs. Which, by the way, if you are new, Egg Champ is one of our emotes. It is based off my silly-looking little Himalayan kitten with big ol' eyes. We learned last week that Egg's eyelids are a little bit mutated, and that's why she is always crying, and why her face is always wet. It's because she's got mutant eyes, just a little bit. Just a little bit. But they said it's fine. Yeah! Egg champs! Good job, Wanda. You earned this. Celebrate. Definitely, you know, you can take a few months off from the grind and hustle of acting to celebrate your awards. So yeah. 6 of Wands, everybody. We love her. And let's, go into the 2 of Swords next. Now I'm gonna do a little bit of stretches now. I'm gonna do, like, this feels a whole lot more effective now that I've been drawing for an hour. When I was, you know, trying to stretch right away, things would be so stiff that they wouldn't move at all. And after drawing a little bit, like, things are flexible enough that I can do a deeper stretch. Alex, we're Egg Champing because, you just popped in. Egg Champs for, the 6 of Wands who won 6 awards, and the awards are wands. You just missed it. Alex just hears me screaming from the other room and doesn't know why. Now, this isn't even really me screaming, because I am just like, I'm so wheezy lately. I gotta go to the doctor about the asthma too. Oh, bye Alex. Bye Alex. Thanks for stopping by just to ask me why I'm screaming. Oh yeah. Just a nice little stretch. Just a nice little stretch. I love right below, right now on the screen, there's last week's card, the 2 of Cups, which I had so much fun making, and I'm just really proud of the composition and the colors and how that one turned out. I think, how many cards have I done now? I think I've done like 13 of them. Let me see. Pop this out of the way. Yeah, I've done 13. Well, now I've done 14 cards. That's pretty cool. So yeah, only 60 left? That's amazing. At the rate I'm going, I'll be done with this probably in less than a year. Probably next summer. I'll probably be kickstarting this deck, which is really cool. I'm very excited about that. Woo! Cool. All right. Not the longest stretch. I am probably going to stretch a little bit more in between this sketch and inking it, maybe. Take another little break. Honestly, just like a 5-minute break once an hour is like the best thing that you can do for your body. Don't just draw and draw and draw and draw and draw for a million years straight and then wonder why you're broken. So yeah, this is another card that I am going to be doing something very different for it. Oh, hydrate, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, stay hydrated. It's good. Yeah, so this is another card that I'm going to do something like very different visuals from the Rider-Waite deck. So, we've got a blindfolded woman holding 2 swords. And so it's, about being indecisive, but also not being able to see something that might help you make that decision. So, my idea for this, the thing is, if you think about a pair of scissors, which these are my weird little shears, but really, there's 2 blades there. This is like 2 little tiny swords. And so I was also thinking of like the whole idiom of like measure twice, cut once, and how that pertains to like sewing, and how I often do just get so intimidated by cutting into some of my fabric, especially if it's really nice fabric. I will sometimes just never actually use the fabric. I get so intimidated. Same with stained glass, actually. I've got a lot of really nice pieces of glass that I'm just like, I can never actually cut into this because what if I make a mistake? And I can be very indecisive about what I'm going to do with a piece of glass or a piece of fabric, knowing that like cutting into it, if I cut wrong, then oh my god, I've ruined it, and I can just be so indecisive just holding the scissors, just not really able to make that first cut. And so I'm planning on having someone, still a blindfolded person, holding some scissors surrounded by like multiple swaths of fabric, holding the scissors, holding a tape measure, but, having a blindfold on so she can't even see to measure it, and just really hesitating to cut into a piece of fabric, I think would get the point of this across and be really unique and different. Because again, I've been trying to think of these suits in different ways, and just, yeah, scissors are essentially 2 blades that work together. So I like having the 2 of swords be scissors. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then this is gonna get like a whole bunch of really fun, things of fabric, drapey bits of fabric. I just want to have her like just surrounded by fabric. Probably like holding this piece up. Well, no, because she's got one hand is going to have scissors, one hand is going to have the measuring tape. But yeah, I'm gonna put a lot of different patterns into this fabric too. So that's why this card is gonna take so much longer than the last card, because drawing all of these patterns is going to be tricky. All right. I'm gonna make these scissors extra long and dramatic because that is sort of the indicator of the suit. So I wanna draw focus to these two swords. How do I hold scissors again? I don't want to do these shears necessarily, but okay, usually there's two fingers in this. And then a thumb. Trying to be a little bit better about drawing more detailed hands during the sketch phase, so I don't get to the ink phase and be like, oh shit, how do I draw this hand? Yeah, this one goes out to all the times when you're like, okay, measure twice, cut once, but then you measure 100 times and you never get around to cutting because you're so hesitant to start. It's not even about, you know, not having the information. It's more about just hesitancy in itself. Or feeling like you'll never have enough information to make the right judgment. But you can't make the right judgment because you are blinding yourself. And then you find out that there are reasons to doubt your judgment, even with... So a lot of measuring tapes are not actually correct. There are, like, sometimes you'll put two measuring tapes together and their idea of an inch will be off by, like, a quarter inch, which multiplied over several inches, you end up being inches off if you have the wrong tape measure. And I've definitely, like, taken some measurements on my house and then gone to Home Depot and got some wood cut and brought it home and just like, this doesn't fit. It's off by like half an inch. How did my house shift half an inch while I was gone? Like some House of Leaves bullshit. But it turns out it's just, you know, the tape measure that I used to measure my house was different from the tape measure that they were using at Home Depot, which was probably a lot more accurate. I want to give her that sort of like lip biting hesitancy. Don't have to worry about drawing wonky eyes for this one. I think this hand might be a little too big. Or at least those couple of fingers were making it look huge. Foreshortening is not the friendliest part of drawing. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is gonna be pretty good. I almost want to have just a little bit more of an interesting look to this tape measure. Kind of squeezing it. Oh my god, getting a good journal is the worst thing for me, actually. Alex was making fun of me at Target when we went the other day because I like insisted on, I was like, I have to buy a tiny little cheap notebook so that I can write in it, and I always make to-do lists every day of stuff I gotta do. Which Tarot Tuesday is on mine. And he was looking at the nicer notebooks and he was like, why don't you get one of these nicer notebooks? And I was like, well, you know, I have one. I have this really nice, like bullet journal thing. It's nice. It's big. It's got this nice cover. It's got these like ribbons so I can find pages. It's got like this stencil in the back and all of this stuff. I never use it. I never use it. It's too nice. I never use it. but also it's too big. And I just felt this like urge of like, if I'm not going to fill up a whole page, I'm wasting it anyways. And then I would also feel bad for like, if you have to do 5 things and you put 5 things on a page this big, then at the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, I did half a page's worth of things. That's pretty good. But in a really big notebook, I would do the same amount of things, but it would take up so much less room on the page that I would feel like, God, I'm hardly doing anything. I'm a lazy piece of shit these days. And I finally realized, like, no, it really is just that it's just too big of a page. And I was feeling guilty for not using this book. Also, it's a dark color and it would just visually get lost on my desk. So yeah, just all these nice notebooks. I really thought I had this cheap little notebook first that I was using really great, and I was like, okay, I really wish that I had like a nice notebook, but when I finish this tiny notebook, I'm allowed to go buy a big, nice notebook. And I did that and then immediately fell off all of my good habits that I had accumulated because I had this tiny little notebook that I could write notes in. And yeah, a lot of times, the only times I've ever filled up a sketchbook have been when they're just shitty little sketchbooks. If I get a nice sketchbook, I will immediately feel like nothing I do is going to look good in it anyways, and I might draw a couple of pages and feel like, wow, this sucks. I've ruined this notebook. Spent a bunch of money on a notebook and then I ruined it. And yeah. I've learned, like, for finished pieces, I have gotten better art supplies. I will buy better paper and better paint and stuff like that. But for sketches, I need to do them in a crappy notebook. For any sort of just doodles or notes, it has to be in a crappy notebook. But I'm also trying to make peace with the fact that sometimes I will use some art supplies on a piece that doesn't turn out, and those supplies are essentially wasted. But just sort of coming to terms with the fact that they would be just as wasted if I never used them. That's been the big part of it, is like, it's just as much a waste to buy art supplies that you never use as it is to use art supplies and not have it work out in the finished piece. I'm very used to drawing digitally these days, where I can just undo things. And all I'm out is some time. Alright, what kind of outfit are we gonna give her? Honestly, I kind of want to have her sewing in her bra, because usually when I'm sewing, I only ever sew for myself, really. Occasionally I'll sew for other people, but they have to be like in my presence while I'm sewing, because I'm constantly like putting it on, adjusting it, and then sewing it some more. Because like half the beauty of sewing is that you can get things that are custom fit for your actual dimensions. And I'm not always the best at calculating that beforehand. I'll be like, okay, I've measured myself. This part of my body is, 30 inches. And then I'll cut it out and I'll be like, oh, I guess it turns out this part of my body is actually 35 inches. Or it's actually 26 inches. Like, I have no idea how... My body is a house of leaves. Body of leaves. So yeah, I'm usually sewing, like, in my underwear, so that I can keep trying the piece on, taking it off again. So yeah, she's getting... She's doing a crafting in the bra session. Does it look like she's going to cut the tape measure? I feel like I've put too much emphasis on the tape measure. Her face is sort of pointed towards the tape measure. So, yeah, we gotta de-emphasize that because it looks like she's hesitating on cutting into the tape measure. So I might just have the tape measure resting on the fabric and her lifting this piece. Because that, yeah, I guess that fits a little bit more because, you know, the tape measure going unused, that she, you know, if she took the blindfold off and looked at the tape measure, she might be able to make the decision that she's trying to make. But as it stands, she is just sort of blindly attempting to cut into this fabric and rightfully hesitating. Yeah, people have asked me to make them things before, and like my answer is always like, if you will be in the room with me the whole time I'm making it, then yes, we can work something out. But if you can't, then I'm not going to. So there's the tape measure. Which will look a lot more like a tape measure once it's colored in and has lines on it. And I don't know, maybe a little bit more fabric coming up behind her, just so that there's not a dead space right there. Give something, because your eye typically, you know, when you're reading right to left, your eye typically enters from the upper left corner, and having this bit of fabric up here in the upper left corner, here, let me put the arrow on, but this bit of fabric is going to draw the eye, you know, in from the upper left corner and into, you know, the face, sort of through the scissors as well, and then come down through this tape measure, and then you can kind of come back up around through this fabric on the right. And so your eye kind of has a way to flow in a circular manner throughout the whole piece. You sew for work but have never made clothes. Yeah, quilts are... I've never sewn a quilt, actually, because that's its own kind of complicated to me. And, but yeah, clothes are, even sewing for myself, I make so many mistakes and will sometimes just declare. I actually went through my sewing room the other day, and I was like, you know what? These scraps of fabric that I cut out to assemble have been sitting here for the better part of a year, and I haven't put them together because I cut them wrong, and I keep needing to go back and cut them again. But at this point, I know I'm not going to. Like, the amount of work that I have to put in just to make this t-shirt fit, I'm like, I'm not going to. And I finally just added them into my... I just threw a bunch out, because also the cats had puked on some of the pieces, because I left them on the floor, right next to their food. And they like to gobble their food up super fast, and then, you know. But, so I just finally, I was like, you know what? I'm officially giving myself permission to abandon some of these projects that didn't work out. Because I also felt like I wasn't starting any new projects, because I felt like I had to finish these old projects before I was, like, allowed to start something new. And so it just meant that I was, like, stressed out being surrounded by all of these unfinished projects. And sometimes giving yourself permission to quit is exactly what you need to do to, like, clear out the stuff that's not working and start over. you know, just chop down the rotten tree, the tree that's all diseased and doesn't grow leaves anymore. Chop it down, plant a new tree in its spot. Because if it's dead, then all the effort you're putting into to try to keep it alive and save space for it can really be taken away from other things that you'll enjoy better, they'll work out better. So, yeah. Gotta be careful about not doing too much detailed stuff in the parts of the composition that are just going to get cut off anyway. So I want to make this kind of look like there's a sort of table under here. I'm not going for like hyper realistic drapery, but let's see, actually. I don't need it to be hyper realistic, but I want it to still look good. Like, I always also just have, like, I'm actually going to do a second layer of fabric on top of it, because I'll have just, like, piles and piles of fabric on the table next to me. And it'll give more opportunity to draw some more patterns. And speaking of fabric patterns, actually on Sunday, I did an impromptu stream where I designed some fabric. Because I do that for Spoonflower a lot. I love making my own fabric that I can use. Let me pull that up because I'm like so super proud of it. Oh, where'd it go? I just want to show it off because it was a lot more work than I thought it would be. And I'm super proud of how it turned out. Pull it up. Yeah, so this is the fabric I designed, and it's meant to be like a super large print, but this does endlessly repeat. Like if I here it is repeating, which I set as my new desktop background. But yeah, it repeats horizontally and vertically so that I could just have this really big, bold, large print. I want to make like a maxi dress out of it, all like 70s style. Wear it to an outdoor barbecue event. I'm finally starting to like get excited about fashion again, and like all of these clothes that I've wanted to wear, or these, I guess part of why I also stopped sewing, like especially over the winter, was I was just like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not seeing people. I'm going to make all of these clothes and then not wear them because I'm just going to be inside my own house wearing comfy jeans and t-shirts or sometimes pajamas. Like my robes have gotten a lot of use because I'm often like just hanging out in a robe because it's comfortable. But now I'm like finally excited of just like thinking about parties that I can go to and, you know, events that I can do. And so I'm getting like excited about fashion again and making some plans. And yeah, it's gonna be really fun. I'm very excited about it. I dressed up a little bit today. I got this sequiny eyeball shirt, which this would have been great to wear last week when I was drawing a crying eyeball. This would be perfect for that. But yeah, like honestly, I'll get dressed up for Twitch streams a little bit just to have an excuse to get dressed up. Because otherwise I am just like, well, I could be in my pajamas forever. Drapey lines. Yeah, so I started putting stuff up on Redbubble again. Celeryman, thank you for the follow. In about 15-20 minutes, you'll be able to join the chat. Ooh, come on. What was I saying? Oh, I started putting stuff up on Redbubble. So if you've been wanting any prints of any of the tarot cards, you can do that now. If you want prints of individual tarot cards, you can get them in like, I think poster paper is going to be like the cheapest option. I think you can get something for, and it's all on sale right now. So you could get something for like $12, I think, if you want a tarot card, or some of my other art prints, or even like some of my fabric designs are on ready-made clothes. If you are not a sewer and want to have some of the designs on some clothes, that is an option now. And they ship to most places and in a wide variety of sizes. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Like having a plan for something like apparel is a major part of the motivation to put it together. And maybe that's why I never got too into knitting, actually, because I don't wear a ton of sweaters because I get overheated. Like, knit things are not my normal type of clothes that I wear. And so I guess I always thought of like, okay, I'm gonna make this thing and then not use it because I'm gonna be too warm. Although a shawl does sound super nice. I'll wear a shawl. We gotta put lots of little lines. These are not very accurate intervals, are they? But oh well. Yeah, the only clothes that I bought during quarantine just ended up being bad for the most part. I've made so many, not even so many, that I haven't actually bought a lot of clothes in quarantine. Because I'm just like, well, where am I going to wear this? I don't have any plans for this, so it's pointless to buy. But the clothes that I did wear, a lot of it didn't fit because I couldn't try it on in the store. Or it fit, but then I discovered, oh, these are jeans that come already with holes in the knees, and I feel like a bit of an idiot when I end up wearing the same pants as someone else and the holes are in exactly the same spots, and it's very obvious that we both shop at Target. Like, ugh. I can make my own holes. I am very accident prone. I can make holes in my own pants. Yeah, I do feel like I would also like crochet a little bit more. And yeah, the idea of making like a cute 70s halter top is very appealing to me. Knit myself a bathing suit. Oh, I'm gonna make myself a bathing suit this year, actually. I'm gonna go swimming like crazy. So I do kind of want to have a blindfold going over her hair, which I just sort of forgot about the blindfold when I was drawing her hair, and now I have to go back and add it in. A knit and crochet bikini. That sounds super cute. I've been very into like retro 70s kind of fashions lately, which is probably apparent from like the types of fabrics I've been designing. If you've kept an eye on any of that. I'm nervous. I'm nervous that like 1920s looks are going to go like so mainstream that I won't be able to buy anything that doesn't have a drop waist. I'm just super nervous about that. Because I don't fit into anything that has a drop waist. I have such like extreme hips. It's hard enough to find clothes without having to worry about a drop waist. Hi you guys. Welcome. Um I imagine a knit bikini would work well, or at least like it'd be cute for just like wearing when like sometimes you wear a bathing suit and you don't actually go swimming. But I also imagine if you knit it like for your own body and you can get that really tight fit. Oh god, a wool bikini sounds absolutely awful. Wool bikini sounds like a curse you would place on someone. Like, may you wear a wool bikini for the rest of your days. Let's see, I gotta have it a little bit more flowing over here. Just to give it a sense of being tight on the head. Ah, yeah, synthetic fibers versus. Oh, Alex is showing me his butt. Showing me his butt. That's a good butt. That's a good butt. It's got jiggle to it now.
Got luchadors.
It's got luchadors on it and it jiggles. It's great. It's great. If only you guys could see.
Twitch isn't ready for that hotness.
Twitch, he says Twitch isn't ready for that hotness. Yeah. I'm trying to get him to do burlesque. I've been trying to get Alex to do a burlesque act. He wants to do an emo burlesque act, and his name that he's picked out is Mike Chemical Homance. And I think it's great.
You saying about me?
I was talking about Mike Chemical Homance.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking about knitting bikinis right now.
Knitting bikini.
Yeah. I'm probably just gonna make one out of spandex. Oh yeah, I have to make Alex like an old timey like one piece
Stripe.
striped bathing suit for if I make that, you have to go to the beach with me. Okay? If I make you that bathing suit, you have to go to the beach with me.
Of course, I'll wear like a big comical mustache. It's fine. Hello, good day.
Yeah. Yeah, get a tattoo of an anchor on your chest.
Ooh, I already have one.
Do you? Where is it?
It's secret.
It's secret. Yeah. Emo Burlesque in the Mask, Biolobich says.
Oh, hi, Mason.
But yeah, I wanna get him to do some burlesque.
My video is up to 28 views.
All right, baby. Good job.
Wow, 28. Chat, go check out my D&D thing. Say bye.
Bye, Alex.
Sorry, by the way.
Did you fart in here? He came in, farted in my tiny office, and then left and shut the door. You guys. I was a perfectly good lesbian. Where did I go wrong? Yeah, I really want to go to the beach so badly this year. I didn't get to go at all last year because people at the beaches were not taking anything seriously, and I didn't trust the safety of going to the lake. So I missed out. That's cute. Oop. Yeah, like me and Alex started living together like a week before, no, like 2 weeks before lockdown started. So we went from like not living together to just being cooped up with only each other, and we just fart on each other now at this point. Just the house is only so big. There's only so many places to fart. We have gotten so intimate. Only each other and farts. Yes. Exactly. But it's been great, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Yeah, sometimes scissors have this little loopy doodad. I don't know what it's for. These are some very, very dramatic scissors right here. These are some Edward Scissorhands kind of scissors. Your boyfriend still apologizes for farts. That's hold on to that, honestly. Hold on to that. There was a time. Actually, Alex never held in his farts around me. He thought for like the first several months of us going out, he was like, well, Megan doesn't hear very well, so they won't notice if I fart. And I'm like, I have a nose. Like, that's not, I can feel you farting. Farts are a multi-sensory experience. You really thought you didn't try being sneaky, you just thought you were being sneaky. And then I had to break it to him. I'm just like, yeah, I know that you've been farting. I just, like, didn't bring it up. Yeah, he thought he was being so slick because of my audio processing issues. But no, I was on to him the whole time. Yeah, it's like you got caught cheating. No, it'd be cheating if you farted in front of someone else now. You can only fart in front of me. How's that? Like Alex hung out with someone new um a few months ago and was just like, "Oh fuck, how do I hold in a fart now?" Just like running to the bathroom for every fart. And yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna go back to a day job, like being in the bar, having to try not to just crop dust the whole restaurant. At least right now, everyone's wearing masks. I talked about this on Alex's channel, but just like right now, you know, crop dusting through the grocery store, it's like, well, if anyone can smell that, they're not wearing their mask right. So I'm really doing a public service right now by just farting my way down the bread aisle. But that's going to be over at some point, and I'm going to have to be conscious about, I don't know, eating properly. Not eating horrible foods for me. Alex is gassy because I do cook a lot of gassy foods. That is a big part of it. Also, Alex is lactose intolerant and doesn't think about that ever until his stomach hurts. And there are things that you can do if you're lactose intolerant and still eat cheese. But we just have decided to just fart forever, I guess, in this house. Welcome to Roselarian Draws, where I just talk about farts, apparently. No anti-capitalist rants today. It's just farts. It's just farts. You're gassing because you have a lot of love to give to the world. So lactose intolerancy is not actually an allergy. I'm probably going to get into this tomorrow on my cheese show, which I've been doing on Sunday nights. Or not Sunday nights, on Wednesday nights, that I call Sexy Mature Milks in Your Area, a cheese show. This seems like a good time to plug this show. Tomorrow is our second episode. I am going to be reviewing burrata, talking about some pairings with that, and I'm going to be playing Hatchiful Boyfriend at the same time. I started off with Fromage Dauphinois and the first part of Hatchiful Boyfriend last week. But yeah, gonna get into some more of it today or tomorrow night at 5 Central, sort of right after whatever Wednesday. But yeah, in short, it is a lack of an enzyme. It is your body not being able to turn lactose, the sugar, into lactic acid, which your body can process. So what cheese does is it actually provides those enzymes. Assuming it's not a fresh cheese, something like mozzarella or anything super creamy, it hasn't had enough time for the enzymes to eat all of the lactose and turn it into lactic acid and the other byproducts of fermentation. So if you take something like Lactaid, that's a pill that also contains those enzymes. So it's sort of saying, you know, your body doesn't make them, but, you know, if your body doesn't produce it, store-bought is fine. So, yeah, lactose intolerance is an enzyme issue. But a lot of people will use like food intolerance and food allergies interchangeably, just because we have like our culture takes allergies a lot more seriously than any other sort of disorders that we might have. So saying like, I have a food allergy, people pay attention and they're going to make sure that they don't put, you know, any milk in your food. But if you say, you know, I have a lactose sensitivity, they're going to be like, well, it's just a sensitivity. What does that even mean? We're not going to be all that careful. We're not going to bust out all of the, you know, extra pans and make sure it doesn't get a bunch of cream in it. So a lot of people, I know I don't have the enzymes to digest a lot of red meat, including pork. Like, can't eat any pork at all. I don't have the enzymes. So I just tell people I have a pork allergy. Because a lot of people don't understand food intolerances, and if I have even a little bit of like bacon grease in the pan that is preparing my food, I'm not going to go into anaphylactic shock, but I am going to have a very uncomfortable time for a day and a half. But yeah, people like, having worked in restaurants, just they talk about uh allergies for like, their a whole day of training will be devoted to allergies, and they won't have anything about intolerances. So you just have to call it an allergy. Now, there you can have a dairy allergy in which you are allergic to casein, which is a protein in milk. But not all milks have the same form of casein. It's typically, there's essentially what happened with dairy allergies is that some time ago, some cows developed mutated casein. And that is typically what people are intolerant to. But they don't tell you which type of cow is providing the milk for a lot of things. So it might be one of the mutant cows, it might not. So typically, if you have a dairy allergy, you want to avoid cow's milk, unless it says specifically that it's made with A2 casein. Otherwise, sheep and goat and buffalo and human and cat and most casein in mammals is A2 casein. And it really should be the A1 casein. I don't know why it gets designated number 2. I don't know. The A1 and A2 probably stand for something. But, yeah. I know 100 different ways of helping people find cheese that they can eat for various different food problems. And I love doing that. I really do want to delve into some like vegan cheeses too, and figure out like, okay, these vegan cheeses are actually good and these taste like absolute bullshit. Like, if I owned a cheese shop, I would curate a selection of good tasting vegan cheeses, because it's finally starting to get to the point where vegan cheese doesn't taste absolutely horrible, but it used to. being gay, you're going to know at least 47 vegans or vegetarians at the very least. And they're going to feed you vegan cheeses. And so you learn. You learn about vegan cheeses. And I do always say that it's good to eat less cheese. And when you do eat cheese, eat better cheese. Eat cheese that's worth it. That's worth the potential lactose intolerance. That's worth, you know. Yeah, vegetarian lesbian here to confirm, right? Right? Like, how many vegetarians have I dated? I don't know. I don't know. Come on. Tablet, give me the good line. There we go. It's just a fact of life. And I don't even eat very much meat either. Eat a lot of vegetarian meals. Because I just enjoy vegetables. I never thought I would get to this place. Oh, come on, tablet. Come on. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I never thought I'd grow up to be someone that loves vegetables, but here I am. At university, we literally had joint events with the LGBT society and the vegan society. That is great. You gotta stick together. It's an alliance. So I'm trying to get that look of like a bra that is a little bit too small. I wish my tablet would stop doing this. And I have no idea why it does. Do I just have something wrong with the pen? It seems like the pressure sensitivity is going all wonky. Yeah, that'll have to do. So I don't feel like drawing that line a 47th time. The members were almost all the same people. Everyone is just a gay vegan. Now I kind of wish I'd given her like a cute 70s knit bikini top. Now that we've been talking about knit bikini tops. But yeah, I spent a lot of time sewing in like old bras. So she's going to be sewing in an old bra. And fabric behind. Cool. Gotta get black background. I have a very good vegan salad waiting for me at the end of the stream. That should be very delicious. All right, so I'm actually not going to fill in the patterns in the fabric until after I color because it's going to make it a lot easier to select all of these big drapey swaths of fabric without having to like select a million different little pieces of the pattern. So we'll go back and add the patterns after getting this done. So let's see. I am going to color in the tape measure yellow. Actually, probably the easiest way to do that is it, and then there we go. It's a little bit states wide. All right. Oops, we want this. I'm gonna make the scissors a sort of metallic blue gray. Maybe add some shininess to them so they look more metal. I'm really happy with how this one is turning out, and the two swords being the two blades of a set of scissors is hopefully something that is pretty unique and not something that's been done a bunch before. Because I'm always just trying to find a different angle for everything that I'm working on with this. All right. Let's see, in that other card, was there? Oh, she's just wearing white, and it's not a very colorful card. I was gonna say I could maybe pull some colors from the traditional card, but let's see, skin color. Trying to think of what I haven't done too much of yet. I haven't done a lot of green skin, so we can go with that. Maybe won't end up going with that exact shade of green because it looks very Incredible Hulk right now. Where's a different shade of green? Spring green? I think that might fit in with the color scheme a little better, or maybe a darker green. Oh wait, I think this more is sea green. Yeah, teal kind of color. Or this more bluish one? No, let's go with the teal. I like that. Haven't used teal skin since the Empress, which was a while ago, so we can bring that color back. Let's see, fill in any little bits. Oops, that's a different color. All right. Okay, we should do some hair. I am doing the whole tarot deck. Yep. So I've done 14 cards already. This is the 15th. I'm doing 1 or 2 a week every Tuesday. So probably by this time next year, I'll have a whole deck. And we'll probably pop it up on Kickstarter. I've been, researching places to get decks printed. And I know some people who have done decks too, so I've got people I could ask for advice. And I do want to hopefully be able to do a little booklet with it that sort of explains my own specific take on all of the cards. and or just for anyone that is new to tarot, just to have a little guide for the basic meaning of all of the cards, I think would be good. I will definitely make sure everyone knows when I kickstart that for sure. I will trumpet it from the rooftops. I feel like every time I do a Kickstarter, I feel like it's all I talk about for a month and a half, and then inevitably, like 4 seconds after the Kickstarter ends, I'll get a message from someone who's just like, "Oh, you were doing a Kickstarter? Is that still happening? Can I still get in on that?" Like, I had no idea you were doing a Kickstarter, and I'm just like, I literally talked about nothing else. Where were you? I like these colors together, the green and the purple, without it being Incredible Hulk green and purple colors. So that's cute. Maybe she's sewing the kind of pants that the Incredible Hulk wears, which, like, it's crazy that Bruce Banner and the Hulk can wear the same pair of pants and they don't rip off of the Hulk or like fall off of Bruce Banner's hips. Where do I get pants like this? What kind of fabric do I have to use? Because I will get it. I am just so tired of having to buy new pants. I had to buy new pants 2 or 3 times during this quarantine. I wish that I could just buy pants once and for all and be like, yes, these are my pants. These are my pants that I wear. Oh yeah, let's see how this is looking with the frame too. Oh, that looks so cute. That looks so cute. We love it. Okay. So let's start with this fabric behind. I'm thinking sort of a golden color because I've just been into this golden yellow color. And it matches the tape measure, so that's nice. Yeah, it's definitely got to be some kind of like high-tech lycra. It's definitely a knit, not a woven fabric, that's for sure. I feel like if the technology exists, some like billionaire has bought it and would pull like an Anish Kapoor with it. It's like, oh yeah, this fabric exists, but no one is allowed to use it. So obviously these fabrics are going to get patterns in them, but I'm just giving them all a sort of base color right now. And then we'll add other little bits. Oops. Is that blue too close to her skin color? I think it is. We can put that blue over in the left-hand pile. Maybe like this light orange. Yeah, I think that looks good. Yeah, this is sort of the main colors that we've got going on. Gonna give her maybe this color purple for lipstick. Yeah, or nail polish. What colors of nail polish? Maybe pink. Gonna leave that blindfold white just because it'll look nice. I'm always trying to put just a couple little pops of white in there too. Yeah, it's looking good. It's got a nice balance to it. You know, we've got thicker lines in the foreground, thinner lines in the background. So this really feels this sort of sense of depth. Having multiple layers of fabric, you know, we've got this super foreground and then the middle ground and then the background fabric. So there's, you know, all of these layers of depth, which makes the card really interesting. It makes it look very three-dimensional, like you could be sort of pulled into the scene within the card, which is good. All right, let's add in some patterns into some of these clothes. And I'm not going to have all of them be heavily patterned for sure, because I think that could get really overwhelming visually. But I do want to have at least some of these have at least a light pattern to it. So like we can put some stripes into this to give it some depth. Is the music still playing? Oh, the music stopped. I forgot to set it to repeat, and the playlist is only a couple hours. Sorry, we've been sitting here in silence, in awkward silence. That's a little better. I have to turn the music down so I can't hear it super well, or else the microphone will pick it up and it'll get all echoey. So sometimes I don't notice if the music has gone away. I think any more of that fabric gets cut off. Yeah. And we can do maybe some sort of like flower pattern on this one. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is actually something to do with Photoshop because the pen hasn't behaved like this in any of the other programs that I've been trying out. So I think it's a Photoshop problem. Yet another reason to eventually stop using Photoshop. I still have to finish setting up Affinity so I can really use it for a lot more. Alright, we got another pattern there. I should probably do some sort of pattern with this one in the foreground at the very least. Maybe this one has some, like, thicker stripes. Come on. Does that look within the... Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Another stripe up here. And I think that's a good amount of stripes, maybe. And something's got to have like some polka dots somewhere, so much of this pattern is not even going to be seen, you know? Yep. Yeah, I think actually maybe having all of these different patterns, but not going with like a huge, crazy, like multicolor scheme for each piece of fabric might keep it from being too overwhelming. And I think I will leave this pink fabric without a pattern on it, just to give the eye a spot to rest and to make the patterns pop out more. In fact, I think I'll leave the orange as well. I think that might be a good amount of patterns. I'm wondering if I'm going to color in these flowers. Let's just make them white for now. There's a little spot on the fabric that didn't appear. Yeah, that's super cute. I like it with the little white flowers. Do I want to give them little yellow insides? Like little daisies? Let's color a few of them. Yeah, that's super cute. I don't think it'll be too distracting. But also this piece of fabric is sort of meant to be part of the, like, part of the focus, so it's not so much distracting as it is attracting the attention that it's supposed to have. Yeah, I think think this might be the Two of Swords. I think we got it. Right there. Two of Swords. The swords are scissors. And she is blindfolded, so she can't measure the fabric, so she's hesitant to cut into it, hesitant to take action. She has multiple different options that she could cut into, and she can't, you know, just make any sort of decision. And yeah, I think this represents the card well, in a really unique way. And again, like looking at the traditional card with that, you know, it's very different. This is very different from the traditional card. But I hope that, you know, people who are familiar with the traditional work can look at this and still recognize it, I hope, and sort of understand the meaning. But yeah, I really like this. I think it's well balanced. I really like the flow of it. And, you know, the colors not looking too, like, out of control rainbow. It is, you know, this one is a little bit more, like, varietal with its color scheme, just because having all of these different colors of fabric kind of required a certain amount of it. But I think it still looks cohesive in its color scheme. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I'm pretty happy with both of them. Let's take a look at the previous one as well. The Six of Wands that I did earlier. If you weren't here for the earlier stream, this is what I did earlier for the Six of Wands. This, which is about like being recognized publicly and success, and so an awards show seemed really appropriate for that. You know, you like me, you really like me. And that's how I'm kind of feeling right now. It's just like, oh man, I really feel like I did so good with this. I feel like I hit the jackpot with my imagination. But yeah, two super different cards. But I think they also still look like they belong in the same deck. That's something I'm trying to always be cognizant with drawing this deck, is do they look like they go together if I see them in the same deck? So I think they still do. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, but I'm glad you like the takes that I have. I'm trying to it's also like helping me understand the tarot more by updating a lot of these concepts. Like with last week's Two of Cups. Let me pull that one up. Where'd you go? Two of Cups. There you are. With last week's Two of Cups, you know, it's supposed to be about like attraction and love, and the Rider-Waite card has these two people standing, you know, far apart, just sort of looking at each other and holding these cups. And, you know, it's more old-fashioned, from a time when, you know, you expressed love without as much like physical heat, I guess. And so I wanted to update that, and you know, this is something that I more relate to and understand the meaning of this now. So I'm always, a lot of this is for my own benefit, to try to remember what all of the cards mean. And so by like drawing them, I can get an idea in sort of my own visual language of what these are supposed to mean. And that's another reason why I want to have the little booklet that comes with this deck when I print it, so that I can sort of, because, you know, you guys don't live in my head. You guys right now are here watching these cards get made and hearing me explain everything, like, you know, interpreting it in real time for why I'm making the decisions that I am. But for anyone who is not currently in this stream, who will be looking at this card from outside my head, you know, in a couple years, I want to make sure that they can also understand what the cards mean and why they are depicted the way that they are. But yeah, I think that's where we're gonna call it for today. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for Whatever Wednesday. Maybe something more in the vein of that thing I drew on Sunday, which I'm also really proud of. I've been really liking my own art a lot lately. And you should like your own art, but like especially I feel like I'm in a really good groove. And just I'm loving the art style that I'm using for the tarot cards, and I'm like, what if I just keep doing other illustrations in that style? So I might do something like this, or I've got a little like side project with Spectacle, like for some bonus content that I'm gonna ask Oni and see if I'm allowed to draw one of those things on screen, or on stream. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll draw something interesting tomorrow at 1. Yeah, also, how do you guys feel about Sundays? Because last Sunday's stream went really, really good. And I'm thinking that might be a good time to do some streams. So we'll see. I'm still sort of figuring out the schedule. But for now, Wednesday afternoon, doing another art stream. And then Wednesday evening, starting at 5 Central, again, it's my new cheese show, Sexy Mature Milks in Your Area, where every week I pick a cheese and we review it and we taste it and we play some video games at the same time. Tomorrow, I am continuing my playthrough of Hatoful Boyfriend, the pigeon dating sim, which is so fucking weird. So much weirder than I ever anticipated. Doing that and eating burrata. So if you want to eat along with me and like taste the cheese as I talk about it, go find yourself some burrata. You'll be really happy that you did. It's very tasty, and I'm going to talk a whole bunch about the cheese. So that's tomorrow. 2 shows tomorrow. 1 at 1, 1 at 5. 1 is drawing, 1 is cheese. So I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I had a blast. I hope you did too. And